A warning for our listeners. This episode does contain elements and mention of murder, suicide, and self-harm. Some content mentioned is alleged and in no way deemed factual. This episode was written to provoke education and conversation on the subject presented. If you are experiencing suicidal feelings or thoughts of self-harm, please contact your National Suicide Hotline. For our American listeners, call 1-800-273-8255. It is a 24-hour, toll-free, and confidential hotline. You can also visit their website at suicidepreventionlifeline.org to chat online with a counselor. For our Australian listeners, call Lifeline at 131114 for 24-hour suicide prevention and crises services. For our United Kingdom listeners, call 111 option 2 for mental health support and crises prevention. We care greatly for our listeners, and we want you all to remember that these episodes are simply conspiracy theories that we have researched in the hopes of bringing more awareness to them. We hope you enjoy this latest episode. Okay, we're recording now.
Great.
Wow, not even a countdown. Wow, not even a countdown.
I
No
didn't like
countdown,
knowing that
just
Ryan was ready.
Yeah, well, I wanted to be a little bit more prepared. Wait, did
Dougie, take your shirt off!
I
Take
did
your shirt off! Take your shirt off!
How many times have we had to ask you already?
There's nothing to see, honestly.
We don't want to whack the jarred sensor bar over the top of it.
I mean, we're not, thinking that you're going to take your shirt off and we're going to see big old titties. Like, duh.
No, that's my job.
Huh?
Right.
You have my attention.
Titties is me.
Leans the camera forwards.
Titties is me. That's going on Amber's shirt.
Yeah,
on,
titties is me.
Let me give you a better view.
Yeah. It's literally what it was like just then.
They there. I got him.
Well, happy Halloween, everybody. It's after Halloween when you're listening to this, but happy Halloween.
But for us, it's the day before.
For us, it's the day before. Yeah, it's the 30th.
Yes.
It's
Halloween for me.
Actually, yeah, no, it is.
Yeah.
It is for me now, actually, as well. Thinking about it, yeah.
No, we've got a couple hours.
Yeah.
It's Halloween Eve. It's Devil's Night.
Well, me and Amber are fit
And
for that then.
I'll say, and I'm conveniently
Yeah.
here as Satan.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot of creativity in this group, I see.
For 3 people.
No, 2 are dressed as the same thing, pretty much, so.
Yeah. Yeah, well, Amber's the more stereotypical version you would see as the devil for Halloween. I went for the Warner Brothers version of Lucifer, which, to be fair, went away.
Again?
Yeah, I did it again. Well, I couldn't be bothered to get my other outfits
I did
out of
it
there.
again. Another song that Ryan doesn't know by Britney.
That was one of the questions I was hoping was gonna come up. That was one of the ones I was hoping would come around. Don't judge me.
Too
I
late.
would never.
Yeah, no, I was just hard. A lot. I didn't get any right, did I? No.
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 He didn't get any. Oh,
No.
wow. I didn't, in retrospect, I didn't realize that.
No, he got
so
he
much
got
adrenaline.
zero.
I just
We were
didn't
so
even notice.
gobsmacked of how bad I did.
No, out of all the questions, he answered 0% of them.
Even with Jess giving him a chance on one of them.
Yeah, she wouldn't answer until I f***ed up, basically.
Yeah.
Could Riot at least get
Yeah.
one?
Oh man, that was so bad. So Amber and I are versions of the devil. Jess, I know who you are, but please introduce us as to who you are.
I'm Dexter. That was a really creepy
Say that again.
one. Don't worry, I have a syringe too.
Oh god, okay. And
I got a
Dougie.
needle on the end of this thing.
No, you don't. You lethal enough as it is.
Tonight.
At least it doesn't have a big needle on the end of it.
I just
That's what she was
said
just
I needed
saying.
one.
Let me. But the
I didn't hear that
other
part, sorry.
last week when Jess was accumulating aspects for her costume, I was sitting on her patio and I was taking notes for our episode, which I haven't taken notes since then. I've got to
I
work on
haven't
that
taken
tomorrow.
any.
But I was sitting on the patio taking notes, and I felt like something was looking at me, but I couldn't. You just know that feeling when something is watching you.
Sorry.
And I look up, and here's Jess in her Dex costume with her gloves on, with that damn syringe in her hand. And I was like, "How long have you been standing there?" And she's like, "Long enough. You would be a good victim."
I mean, do you have
terrifying.
no peripheral vision whatsoever?
Honey, do you know how bad my eyesight has gotten? Like, really, I should be wearing my glasses right now, but Satan doesn't wear glasses.
Same, I
so-
should be wearing mine, but again, the devil doesn't wear them.
Satan doesn't wear glasses. Satan
No.
has good vision, for whatever reason.
Somehow.
Ay, ay, ay.
And Dougie is a...
Space cowboy.
Spaced out cowboy.
Trying to convince him to be a Magic Mike cowboy, but he's not feeling it. We'll convince him later.
Yeah, after the cameras are off, that shirt's coming off.
Oh, right. It's Friday. We can have a disco party.
Yay!
I think my mom thinks I'm going to our family Halloween party as it, or at the very least, a clown.
Right.
Right.
It's probably my fault because I told her, the whole thing is my family has this Halloween party the weekend of Halloween every year, and everyone keeps their costumes a secret from each other
Okay.
until the day of. So there was one year I managed to show up as my mom in high school. That was a great surprise.
I remember that.
I remember seeing the photos.
Yes,
yeah.
I walked in the door. She was like, "I know you ain't me." No,
Brilliant.
no, but I told her about a week ago that I had ordered my shoes for my costume, and I was kind of nervous because, admittedly, I have really large feet, so it's always hard to buy shoes for myself personally because my feet are so big. And I was telling her I ordered my shoes for my costume, and I was nervous because, I bought them online. I didn't try them on. I was just kind of like, that's my size. Let me order them and hope they're right. And she was like, "Oh, what kind of shoes did you get?" And I was like, you guys know how I am after, being in video with me so much. I was just like, clown shoes. No emotion. No indication that I'm being facetious whatsoever.
Yeah.
And she was like, she didn't really question it then. But then today, I was with her again, and I was like, "Oh, by the way," I was just, adding fuel to the fire. I was like, "Oh, my clown shoes came in, and they fit great." And she was like, that's when she started taking it seriously. She was like, why did you get clown shoes? I was like, "Why not?" And she was like, Are you gonna be it? Are you going as it or a clown? I'm like, why would I go as it? I was texting her last night because I watched the latest It chapter 1, the first new one that came out. I just watched it for the first time last night, and I was texting her about it. I'm like, why would I go as it this costume I ordered 2 weeks ago when I didn't even watch the movie until last night. She's like, because he's scary and kind of cool. And I'm like... So I guess she thinks I'm going as it. I mean, for a while, I'm pretty sure she thought I was going as Dexter. But now the clown shoes have truly thrown her off. And it was a joke.
Yeah. That'd be a surprise for him.
So...
Is that...
That's going to be a nice surprise for her.
Is that why you sent the It clip this morning in the group chat?
I was telling... I watched it last night, and when I was talking to Dougie in the party this morning, I told him that I watched it last night, and I was like, yeah, it wasn't really that scary. Like, it was kind of creepy, but there was this one part that, like, just made me feel like my skeleton was gonna just break through my skin. It was just so creepy, and that's why I sent that clip.
Right, because
because that's the one.
You just sent it and just tagged Dougie in it, so I was like, well, I'm gonna have a look, because I've never seen the movies, because I don't do clowns at all, and I was stood at work watching it, and I was like, what the and then I looked up and there's a customer there. I'm like, oh hi. It wasn't good.
I really just needed something playing in the background while I put together my little Halloween goodie bags for the trick-or-treaters. So I turned on HBO and it was there, and I was like, well, I haven't seen that. I'll just, it's Halloween, I'll put that on. It was good, but like I said, it wasn't scary. I mean, the whole movie, my commentary was kind of a combination of oh no. Oh honey. And then a few of like, what the f is that?
I will say the first time I watched that movie, I was on maternity leave, and Weldon was just an itty bitty tiny newborn, and
Wow.
then I could watch whatever I wanted to on the TV because he wasn't going to monopolize it quite like he does now. And he was a newborn just watching it, and the giggled.
What the hell?
I was just like, oh, okay, I have a sadistic baby.
No, like I was telling Dougie this morning, like it wasn't, no part of that movie, it wasn't, like I kind of like knew what was coming. Like, I mean, you'd see like a dark space, obviously someone's face is gonna appear, something like, it's kind of predictable.
It's like with most horror movies.
But that one part, there's one part, I don't know if you remember from watching it with Weldon Amber, there a fridge or refrigerator opens up. I sent the clip in the group this morning. I don't know if you watched it. A refrigerator opens up, and it is crammed. Well, Pennywise is crammed in this refrigerator, like Rubik's Cube style.
Yeah.
And then he like he comes out and he's like reanimating, and his limbs are just all like, oh god. I watched that. I was like, I hate this. I hate this so much. I never want to see this again in my life.
Yeah, no, like that just looks creepy. I agree.
I'm
and the
now.
other night. Oh, go ahead.
I know. I'm very now self-aware of the dark space in the corner, right here. Carry on.
No, I was gonna say the other night
Are those eyes behind you?
Eyes or blue eyes?
Nuh-uh. I'm gonna move to the corner now.
Oh, sorry,
No,
mate.
yeah.
I couldn't resist.
The other night, I did make Alan watch A House of a Thousand Corpses with me, and that made me very happy. I adore Rob Zombie
Was that a Rob
films.
Zombie? Oh, yeah, okay.
Yes.
I saw Devil's Rejects. I didn't see House of a Thousand.
Oh, House of a
Didn't
Thousand's real good.
Devil's
Haven't
Rejects.
they done a
freaking
second one
out.
with Devil's Rejects?
They've done it's a third. Because there was Devil's Rejects, House of a Thousand Corpses, and then the new one that came out was supposed to be like the third one.
Okay.
And
I
it was
haven't seen
what?
House of a
What was
Thousand
that movie
Corpses yet.
called? Oh god.
House of a Thousand Corpses is so good.
I got told I was weird for liking Devil's Rejects.
I didn't
Oh no,
know.
I've
3 from Hell, that's what it was called.
Oh,
okay, yeah, that one I haven't seen yet.
I didn't not like it. It was just like gross.
I haven't seen those ones. I've heard of them, a lot about them, but I haven't seen those ones.
My 30th birthday, I had very specific requirements. I wanted a glass. I wanted a good glass of like scotch or whiskey, and I wanted a cigar and a steak like the size of my head.
Ron
and
Swanson style, baby.
listen, with a Rob Zombie film of any sort just playing for me to enjoy, and just peace and quiet and silence. If I had a monocle, that would have made it that much better. I just wanted...
I think I've got one laying around somewhere.
I just wanted to go into my 30s as a complete gentleman, and to me, that was all of it.
I approve.
I think my horror film, like mine, is The Strangers. It's a very simple film. It's not like
it's
overly gruesome or anything like, but the whole like this could definitely happen in real life thing. Like it's very like it's not like a fantasy. Like that's something that could happen in anyone's life at any time.
Yeah.
Freak me the out.
And to me, those are the ones that are the scariest.
Yeah.
There's this, like, one scene in The Strangers. I scream every time. It's been out, like, 13 years, 14 years, something like. Every time I watch it, it is the same scene. Every time. It's like, you see the main girl. She's, like, in the kitchen. She's, like, freaked out. She's smoking a cigarette. Like, it's Liv Tyler or whatever. She's just in the kitchen smoking a cigarette. And she's, like, on the phone or something. Or, no, maybe not on the phone. Anyway, the camera pans around, and you see over her shoulder, like, there's the foyer, like, in front of the living room, and, like, the camera pans, and you see one of the strangers, like, appear in the foyer. I'm like, oh my god! Every time.
Yeah, I can't.
Right there!
Stuff like that, when you see stuff subtly move, like, or come in a frame in a horror film,
it creeps me out!
that gets me. Like, I'm like, no, I'm gone, I'm out. The worst horror film for me that I've seen, the one that got me f***ed up the most, it was horror / one of these psychological thrillers that mess with your head as well, was The Babadook. The Babadook, how you pronounce it.
I never watched. I read that a dog died in that movie, so I never watched it.
Yeah, that's true. A dog does die in that. But that film got me and Erica messed up. Now, we love watching horror films, but that got us messed up. I'm not kidding. I didn't sleep for at least 2 nights afterwards. It was so... The ones that messed with your head for me, count me out. It was a great film to watch. Never watch it again. Never. Just staying away from that film. Just did it in for me. But I'm fine with most others. I don't care whether it's gruesome, really horrific, or whatever, or jump scares all over the place. I'll watch it, but that one, nah. Hell no.
I'm very classic in my taste, very simple. The less complex, the better. I'm a very big Halloween, not the holiday, but like the film. I'm a very big Halloween person. I love Michael Myers.
Yeah.
I think that's the greatest. It's just, it's so simple. It's so easy. I mean, it's
like,
classic.
Yeah. You can't go wrong. You can't go wrong with the classics. You just can't.
I kind of want to go as Michael Myers next Halloween, honestly. It's such an easy costume. I was thinking about that yesterday. I'm like, oh my god, it's so easy to be Michael Myers.
Yeah.
You just get a jumpsuit and the mask, done.
Yeah, you've already got the knife.
This makeup and blood.
Need a bigger knife for Michael.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, this would not pass for Michael. He needs like a kitchen knife.
Yeah, probably like bread, like pizza
Butcher's
knife
knife.
almost. Yeah.
Did you say a pizza knife?
Well, I use those knives that he has to cut my pizza with. I'm not kidding, I do.
You don't have a pizza cutter?
No.
You're not even a grown-up. You are not a grown-up.
I tried the pizza. I tried the roller pizza. We have one. I don't get on very well with that. I prefer using an actual knife. Just to chomp down on it.
So you're the one who's been cutting our pizzas from Domino's.
Yes,
That's why they look.
Yes, I've been
like
cutting your
that.
pizzas here from Domino's in the UK and shipping them to the US. That's why they're always cold as well. I apologise.
Good to know. Charles, I hope you're listening. We've found the deviant.
Hi.
So anyway, it's my turn today.
Yeah.
Was there anything else we needed to mention? Oh, BT dubs. Okay, 18 minutes in. Just checking the time. So you want to talk about a heart attack time? Okay, so my dad said he was going to listen to the podcast. I almost shit myself.
What up, Pops?
Yeah, hi, Dad.
I won't say his name, but I know.
I'm kind of like, I hope he loses interest. If he started listening, I was on my way out of work the other day, and he's like, "Oh, so you're doing a podcast, huh? That's why you're getting all dolled up every day now." I'm like, "No, we only do the podcast one day a week." And he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna listen to it." I was like, "Please don't."
Don't do that.
Because for one, I don't talk. I mean, obviously, I don't talk like this around my dad. Not only the swearing, but the candidness, and obviously, I talk this way around my mom. I mean, listening to this for her, it would be like listening to me in conversation. I don't like shield myself or filter myself from my mom.
Yeah,
I wouldn't let my mom listen.
Well, I don't mind my mom listening. I've showed her how to, get access and listen, and I think she's tried to listen a few times on her own. I don't think she's interested, honestly. I just think she doesn't care.
But same.
I know my mother, and I know my mother-in-law listens every now and then, and she'll give feedback or whatever. But I mean, I'm very comfortable with them too listening. They know I'm just the way that I am. Now my dad, if my dad started listening, I might have to quit, boys.
No, you're in this now.
It felt like my heart fell out of my ass. I was like, please don't listen to this. I immediately had flashbacks to season 1 where I'm talking about this dude crying because I wouldn't. Oh God, Dad, please don't listen.
Wow, that is a flashback. Everyone who's listened to this, head back to season 1 and find that episode. My God, that's a gem.
One of my friends recently listened to that episode, and she was, I don't remember if I was on the phone with her or if we were chatting on Facebook, but either way, she was like, "Oh my God, not Big Red." I was like, "Oh God." That's right, other people did know him.
So, yeah. Oh my God, my mum recently...
Yeah, say...
Go on.
Go, Ron.
No. Okay, I was going to say, my mum recently...
I was just going to say...
Oh my God!
Go, Dougie, you have seniority.
Dougie!
I was just going to say that when I'm talking to my mum, no swear words, anything like that. Pretty civil.
Oof.
The worst swear word Mum has ever said is
That it?
like that's it.
That's it?
That's as far as she's ever. And I only heard that recently. She reckons she's used it lots, but I don't think so, Mum. I've never heard you say that before. It's like even using the word bloody.
Really?
She hardly ever. And so whenever, like, you guys know how much I swear. I get with my mum.
Yeah.
Not one swear word comes out. Nothing.
Damn.
It's just natural click. So
It's a switch over.
I know she would never be interested in listening to our podcast anyway.
And here she is dropping the word.
I mean, I've heard my dad say all kinds of things, but when it comes to me saying it, it's like, I don't talk like that around him. I just don't. Like, I mean, at the same time, from his perspective, it's like, okay, look, this is your kid who got expelled from Christian school for lip syncing a swear word, so not a whole lot of shock here. But I just, I don't talk like that in front of him. I don't. Yeah. But my mom, it's like I can say anything to my mom as long as it's not Jesus or God affiliated. Like but they can't drop swear or curse words involving Jesus or God. Like I can't be like, oh, like she'll get upset about that. But anything else,
with my
I'll be
dad,
like, look at these over here. Like, And she's like,
My-
yeah, you.
My dad was cool.
Yeah. Well, with me, my mum recently said that she's like, oh, I've just started, to follow through on your Facebook page and whatever for Jar, and I'm like, yeah, I know, I got the notification. She's like, yeah, no, she was like, she literally asked me before we started recording this one. She's like, I got a question about your Halloween intro. I'm like, okay, what? She's like, I was confused because you and Dougie look the same. I'm like, how? We're in completely different outfits.
What?
Like, I've got devil wings and Dougie's in...
As
is a
characters?
mummy. Yeah.
That's just the
Yeah,
the
she meant the faces,
Yeah.
and she was like, you both look,
Yeah.
both. And I was like, yeah. I said, and I explained about that. She said, but I knew which you were. She said, as soon as I saw the wings, she's in your open chest at the front there with the robe over the top. She's like, you really do act like an idiot, don't you? And I'm like, yeah, don't ever listen to the show because you'll realise I'm even bigger of an idiot. So I was like, yeah.
Well, if I could give my character a bigger beard,
Oh,
I'd be happy.
yeah. Then we would have done it. Yeah, I don't know. I hope they sort that out. Because my God. Yeah. Oh, Jess is back on the TV show. We've got Morty set up cameras again.
Yeah, you might have to blur it, but I did. I
did see that. Yeah, I did see that. I will fix that. I mean, it's not gonna.
That's just me making things difficult for you. I'm sorry.
It's fine. I mean, it's not gonna be as bad.
I don't think it'll matter.
It's not gonna be as bad as trying to censor Jess's camera last week when she was fiddling with her crotch. She's talking about her onesie and her
Popping her
pop.
Yeah.
I like
Don't be a hater.
I like how I cleared my throat and, just like, and you're just straight out with pop. Oh, I'm gonna have to pay attention when editing this one. I don't want to miss that.
I told you I'm a little bit more lit this episode. Sorry.
No, that's what I'm drinking. But then again, I'm drinking because I'm in character. Like,
I'm gonna have a heart attack. How did I fix this last week?
I
No
don't know.
idea.
I have no idea, Jess. I think you're just
Sorry.
fiddling backwards and forwards, and it eventually came back on.
Bring my baby
every
back.
time I like try to swap between these cameras tonight, it's like it freezes. My Discord freezes and I can't hear you guys.
That's not what we want to hear.
No.
Oh dang. Dougie, what's your like continuing with the Halloween theme? What's like your like, most favorite or classic like horror film that you would go to if you had to?
To be honest, I can't really say I've got a favourite.
No.
I like majority of the Stephen King adaptations. I'm a big fan of Stephen King.
Yeah. That I
But
remember.
there's been a few that I like, but
Oh,
I can't think
I might have to
specific
change
names.
my
But
mind.
I remember seeing a Pet Cemetery. That was Stephen King, wasn't it? Pet Cemetery.
Yes.
My
Yeah.
God, that. Oh my God, I think that was probably. I was early teens when I first saw that, and that the one bit that got me out of that was when the little kid slashed the old boy's Achilles at the back of his ankle. Oh my God! As soon as I think I ran away from from the screen seeing that. That got me all over the place. But that film was just freak. And then seeing the new remastered one as well. That's
I haven't seen that one. Yeah.
that's bizarre.
I do have to mention an ode. Since he said Stephen King. Carrie.
Never
One of the
seen
best movies of all time. The first
Original
Carrie,
or the new one?
with Sissy Spacek. There will never ever be another Sissy Spacek. However, the day before my wedding, I spent it doing absolutely everything that I wanted to do, and one of those things was seeing the new Carrie with what's that girl's name? Chloe Grace Montez or something.
Yeah.
Moretz.
I will say that movie followed way more closer to the book than the original movie did, but still it doesn't hold a candle to that movie.
I thought Chloe did a great job.
Oh, she did. She absolutely did. She just will never be sissy, and that's just.
Oh yeah. No. I'm not arguing that point.
It was better than I thought that it was going to be, and I like that they kept more truer to the book. So that made me happy. I love when movies do that when they're based off books.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and get started.
Yeah, I was just like, now that you got your camera fixed,
Funky,
let's.
and we've been in for half an hour now.
Yep.
So, I need another drink. Where's my bartender? Today, or tonight, rather, I'm going to be talking about Jeffrey Epstein.
Ooh.
Which it was just brought to our attention yesterday that Ryan has no idea who the fuck Jeffrey Epstein is.
Correct.
Weird.
Guilty. Well, not weird. I'm British. I don't know what you guys do there across the pond.
He was a global...
I'm Australian. I knew who Jeffrey Epstein is.
You got more years on me, Dougie.
That doesn't mean anything.
Okay, I'm uncultured. What do you want?
My sources, shut up. Okay, so my sources are Hulu's. It was like a Hulu series, Truth and Lies, Netflix's Filthy Rich, Wikipedia, and News.com, and also CNN. Was it CNN or MSNBC? I don't know. So, God. Now that I know Ryan doesn't know who he is, it's like... I wasn't going to dig into his backstory too much, you know what I mean? But, okay, whatever.
Just go with it and I'll research afterwards.
Jeffrey Epstein was a very enigmatic figure.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I mean, it's true. He grew up in Coney Island in a working class household. Like, his family, they didn't have much money at all. He was really smart. He excelled in mathematics. But the interesting thing about him is that he never graduated from college. He actually dropped out. And then, somehow, he got a job at the Dalton School in the Upper East Side of Manhattan, which is the Dalton School. That's where the rich people, the 1%, they always send their kids when, like, they live in New York City. That's where their kids go to school. Not really sure. I mean, he lied on his resume for sure, but not really 100% sure how he actually got that job, especially since he didn't graduate college. After working there, he got a job at Bear Stearns, which is an investment bank. He met Leslie Wexner, who is the founder of the Limited Company. Leslie Wexner, he owns... The Limited Company, it's kind of an umbrella for a bunch of different companies. I know one of them, I think, is Victoria's Secret.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure which other businesses that are under the Limited Company umbrella. But he met the owner, or founder, whatever Les Wexner is. Somehow, over the course of the years, he began to manage Les Wexner's fortune. Like, totally. No one knows if he was blackmailing Les Wexner, like if he knew something about him, or, you know, because he had total control over Les Wexner's finances at one point, and no one knew how or why. But anyway, he became wealthy through his job at Bear Stearns, the bank. Over the course of the years, and I'm not going to steer this Epstein conversation in any political direction. I'm not going to be like, oh, well, he hung out with Trump, like, if the Republicans are bad, you know, Trump's bad, because this guy, he associated with both parties throughout the years. He gave money to both the Republican and Democratic parties over the course of the years. I think over the course of 15 years. He did give a lot less money to the Republicans than he did to the Democrats, but all that aside, he did give money to both parties. So, and his contacts had people from both parties. So it's not like one side is more guilty than the other here, more innocent than the other, you know what I mean? Like, everyone has ties to Jeffrey Epstein.
Okay.
In 1980, he appeared in Cosmo as the Bachelor of the Month. I think that's also when he made the statement that he did not talk to anyone who made less than a couple $1 million a year. Again, not really sure how he got as much money as he... That's why he's so mysterious. He became such a powerful and influential figure by the time he died, and no one really knows how, other than that he his way to the top. I mean, dude did not graduate college. Mm-hmm. He just managed to basically sneak into these jobs where he's at, a wealthy private school teaching there, and then he gets a job as an investment banker, and eventually he's handling the money of billionaires.
Yeah.
So it's just very mysterious. Anyway, in 1991, that's when he met Ghislaine Maxwell, which, if you've read her name, you probably pronounced it a totally different way in your head when you read her name.
I was going to say, is it not Ghislaine?
All the documentaries I watched, it's the majority of the people on there, they call her Ghislaine. I mean, I've heard a couple of different pronunciations, but the majority say Ghislaine, so I went with it.
Well, I'm Southern as I'm going to say anything wrong.
So...
And Ryan say he'll get it wrong anyway.
Ryan's
gonna anyway.
I can't even say the sentence that I wanted to. Yeah.
Well, Ghislaine Maxwell, she comes from family money. Her family, they have this fortune. Ryan might be familiar. I don't know. Maybe not. Probably not. But her father was Robert Maxwell, who was a publishing tycoon in the UK.
I recognize the name, yeah.
Dead. But, yeah, that was her dad. So she came from family money.
Right.
Apparently, which this is now a very hot topic here, but as early as 1991, it's been alleged that Ghislaine was obtaining models for Jeffrey and Les Wexner. Oh, this is such a mess. I'm not going to get into all of the victims of the Epstein situation, because this is more about the conspiracy about his death. It's not necessarily about what he did during his life. To understand why people would want him murdered, you have to understand a little bit of his history, but I'm not going to dig into the whole sexual abuse thing.
Okay.
So the first woman to speak out about him, or to at least report him, she met him in 95. I believe she was also assaulted by both him and Ghislaine that same year, and she just cut ties with them. She found out that they had abused or assaulted her sister as well. My camera froze again. This is great. This is awesome. This is great. This is really... Okay, I'm back.
Cool.
Anyway. Oh, God. This is... Okay. So... This woman, Maria Farmer, she found out after the whole thing with Jeffrey and Ghislaine that they had made moves on her sister, her younger sister too. So the next year in 96, they reported, or Maria Farmer, she reported Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell to the authorities for what happened. Nothing ever came of it. I don't know if I guess it wasn't investigated. It was just swept under the rug. They just, whatever. Nothing ever happened with it. In 2005, another situation where Jeffrey Epstein was sexually abusing young girls. One of their parents, their mom, they reported Epstein to the Palm Beach police for molesting her teenage stepdaughter. Nothing ever happened. There's just a laundry list of names associated with Jeffrey Epstein. There was this whole thing with the QAnon conspiracy theories going around a couple months back, and they were releasing these falsified flight logs for Epstein, and it was showing, every celebrity you can think of was on these supposed flight logs. Well, okay, those that are floating around that have gone viral, the ones with like John Legend and Chrissy Teigen, false. Those are fake. Right. I went through. They unsealed documents from numerous court cases against Epstein and Guillen, because the girls that they assaulted, eventually they came forward. They all pursued lawsuits against the two of them. And so recently the documents from each lawsuit and deposition and all that, they were unsealed. And it was thousands and thousands of pages. Like, I maybe got halfway through before I was just like, this is baffling. But in those documents, they did have his flight logs, which most of the time it was initials, unless it was a very prominent figure, and then it seemed like whoever was writing these flight logs would write out that person's full name and not just initials. There were a couple instances that Bill Clinton's name showed up on there. That was, yeah. But, Prince Andrew, he was heavily involved with this Epstein thing. Heavily. One of the women that pursued a case against Jeffrey Epstein, she basically claimed that they had kind of somewhat trafficked her to Prince Andrew, that she had sex with him, that she was underage at the time. I think she was 16 or 17 at the time. There were photos of this girl with Prince Andrew. Like, there was at least one photo that they took together, and he's like standing next to her. He's got his arm around her waist. They're in Ghislaine Maxwell's apartment in Britain.
She's in the background of it too, isn't she?
I think maybe. I'm not sure, but it was her house or her apartment, townhouse, whatever. And when he was confronted about it, Prince Andrew, he was like, I've never met her in my life. I don't know where that picture came from. On that night, I was out getting pizza with my daughter. And it's like, there's a photo.
It's not.
There's a picture.
There's literal.
It's Photoshop.
There's literal proof.
Didn't he try to claim that he was impotent too and he couldn't do anything?
I don't remember the impotent thing. I remember him making a comment about not being able to sweat or something along those. I don't know. Prince Andrew is wacky, okay?
Yeah.
And he was heavily involved with this Epstein stuff. Donald Trump, he has ties to Epstein, Bill Clinton, Kevin Spacey, Chris Tucker, Supreme Court Justice John Roberts, Woody Allen, Harvey Weinstein, and also his contacts included British Prime Minister Tony Blair, Alec Baldwin, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the Kennedys, etc. The list goes on and on for his contacts. As far as Donald Trump goes, he was quoted in 2002, which I get it, that's a long time ago, people change, but he was quoted in 2002 as saying, I've known Jeff for 15 years, terrific guy, he's a lot of fun to be with, it is even said that he likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side, no doubt about it, Jeffrey enjoys his social life.
Ew.
Yes.
You don't go around saying that.
And I like how people like to make the argument, oh, well, that was so long ago. One, it's not that long ago. Two, at that point, you know, you're I'm sorry, but you're old enough to know better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, I'm very unclear on Trump's relationship with Epstein at the time of Epstein's death. There's rumors to say that Trump banned Epstein from Mar-a-Lago after he saw him cavorting around with like very, very young women. I don't think that's been substantiated. The more plausible rumor is that they were both bidding on this property around like 2004 or something like that. I think some early 2000s. They were bidding on the same property. It became very competitive in nature, and they cut ties around the time that whoever got the property, got it. So I don't know about the Trump side of it. I just know what he said about Epstein earlier on. So the whole legal side of Epstein, he eventually, after many, many, many years of abusing these girls, I won't even call them women because most of them were underage, that we know of, there have been 36 women, at least, who were sexually abused by Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. That's the confirmed number. And most of them, well, some of them were as young as 14 when these things happen.
Bloody hell.
And like I said, that's just 36. That's just the confirmed number of women that have come forward. There's probably more. Because one of the women who spoke about her experience with Epstein, she said that he liked to have new girls every time. Like, his whole thing with these girls, when he would be like, come give me a massage, I'll pay you, a couple $100 if you just give me a massage. And they're like, okay, I can go massage this old guy for $500, no biggie. And then they get there and he's like, oh, there's my I'm gonna and look at your feet and, here's your $500. And from what I'm understanding, he liked to have a new girl every time.
No.
That's so disgusting.
Yeah, the confirmed number is 36, but I'm sure there are plenty more.
Oh.
Most likely.
But when he was
that'll probably hardly even scratch the surface.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as he was doing this for, there's no telling when he started it, honestly. But when he was finally charged for all of this nonsense, there was communication between his attorneys and the U.S. attorney's office, whatever. They issued what is now referred to as a sweetheart deal. They made a deal. This is heartbreaking. They made a deal for no federal charges to be filed. Epstein was allowed to quietly take a plea for 1 count of solicitation or prostitution and 1 count of solicitation of a minor. And the deal also gave immunity to all co-conspirators for absolutely nothing in return.
What?
The
That's
yeah. That's why it was called a sweetheart deal, because let's be real, you can't get it any sweeter than that.
And not to mention, he didn't even spend most of his time in where he was supposed to be. He was allowed to leave for work.
Get there.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm getting there. What gets me about it is the solicitation of prostitution. These were children. That's rape.
Yeah.
And you're sitting here saying this is prostitution?
Nah, dog.
No.
That's a no from me.
That's
Yeah.
Crazy. But
Sick.
the more sweetheart part of the
There's
deal
more.
was that the victims who came forward with these charges, they were not made aware of the hearing for this
What?
deal, this plea deal. They were not informed that the hearing was happening. They were not informed that, a plea had been reached.
How could...
So they weren't there, for the hearing. They didn't know about it until after. He had his own wing in the Palm Beach stockade whenever he went to prison.
Oh my...
After just a few months of being there, he got work privileges, which meant that he could leave for up to 16 hours a day for work-related purposes.
He could leave prison to go to work.
For up to 16 hours a day, which means that he could leave, spend the entire day doing God knows what out and about, and then he essentially only has to go back to prison to go to sleep.
Hang on.
Basically.
So when he left prison, was he accompanied under watch? Was he tagged? What? No.
Oh, I'm trying to remember. I know there were a couple instances where they were. I think maybe they caught him where he was not supposed to be.
But I think that may have been like a private, like, surveillance of some sort that had nothing. I mean, I don't think it was anything that was like reported back to authorities by any means whatsoever. Because I think even one time they caught him at this hotel.
Yeah.
That's just...
Yeah, I don't...
I'm sure this is going to get worse, but already that's...
Oh, it is.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna speed it up. I'm gonna go ahead and jump to 2019. So
Wow.
right now we're looking at July 6th. So that is when he was jailed for the numerous sex trafficking charges. He was held at the Metropolitan Correctional Center in Manhattan, and in the subsequent weeks he was denied bail because the court saw him as a flight risk.
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna cut my tongue out if I don't stop saying so. Let's see, that's, I guess a little over 2 weeks later, July 23rd, Epstein was found semi-conscious with injuries to his neck, stating that his cellmate had assaulted him. His cellmate, Nicholas Tartaglione, I hope I'm saying that right, denied the assault. Tartaglione was jailed for murder and drug charges. He claimed that he had actually saved Epstein. An investigation cleared Tartaglione in connection with the assault. So... after Epstein's death, Tartaglione claimed that the guards threatened him and told him to stop talking after describing Epstein's death and living conditions in the jail. An anonymous source claims the supposed assault was Epstein's attempt at getting transferred.
That's not the first time you would hear about that. You often hear about that, don't you, in jail cells?
Yes. An attorney for 3 of Epstein's victims said there was a high probability that Epstein would be murdered in prison. Here we are. After the incident with Tartaglione, Epstein was placed on suicide watch. It was such a he said, she said situation. I guess they just couldn't figure out what really happened that first time. So after that, Epstein was placed on suicide watch. He stayed in an observation cell surrounded by windows where the lights were left on at all times.
Wow.
He was prevented from having any devices or items that could assist in a suicide, but he was removed from suicide watch 6 days later, less than a week later. It's reported that he was only removed from suicide watch after alleging that he was attacked by his cellmate. He was then moved to the SHU, which Amber is probably, my camera's frozen again. You guys should have told me.
I didn't want to interrupt you.
And that's what, like, solitary.
Oh,
that's like
God.
solitary housing unit or something like that. It's solitary
Right.
confinement.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, after
Have they got
watching
it in the SHU?
Orange is the New Black for so long, you should know
Yeah,
this.
like I said, solitary housing unit.
Throw her in the
Oh,
SHU.
yeah.
Yeah. In the SHU, he was supposed to have a cellmate and be checked on every half hour. These procedures were not followed on the night that he died.
Oh.
I just love this story.
Strange that.
Allegedly, Epstein was depositing funds into other prisoners' accounts to buy himself favor and protection. In his notes from jail, he wrote about large bugs that crawled all over him, guards feeding him burnt food, and one guard who locked him in the shower with no clothes for at least an hour. So now we're going to move forward to August 8th of 2019.
All right.
Epstein, he signs his last will and testament. With this, I'm pulling my notes from my phone as well. He assigned his entire $577 million estate to a trust fund located in the Virgin Islands, which made things way more complicated for his dozens of victims to seek damages for his crimes.
Yeah.
Of course.
It was basically like if I die, then you, you're not getting a cent of my
Pretty
money.
much, yeah. Massive middle finger to everybody.
On August 9th, the next day, Epstein's cellmate was transferred out and no replacement was brought in. Same day, Epstein met with his lawyers that evening and was escorted back to his cell around 8 p.m. The last time security footage showed a guard walking past his cell was around 10:30. Through the remainder of the night, Epstein was not checked on every 30 minutes. The two guards assigned to his cell fell asleep at their desks for at least 3 hours and later falsified related records. Two of the cameras in front of Epstein's cell malfunctioned that night, and another camera's footage was deemed unusable.
Funny that.
Ironic.
August 10th.
What constitutes it being unusable?
I guess it would be down
All
to...
right,
Who
cool.
knows?
Nah.
All right.
Who knows?
Cool.
It
So the
showed
next
what
day-
really happened, so they can't allow them.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
They can't allow that.
August 10th, Epstein was found unresponsive in his cell at 6:30 a.m. from an apparent suicide. He was found in a kneeling position with a strip of bed sheet around his neck. The sheet was tied at the top of his bunk. It's believed that he died 2 hours prior to being found. The guards performed CPR on him. He was taken to New York Downtown Hospital and pronounced dead at 6:39. I don't know if you guys know about bed sheets, okay?
Yeah.
But
I'm familiar with them.
if you're
You're on
in
it.
prison, you're probably not getting a very high thread count.
No.
Your bed sheets, I would assume, would be about as thick as a ply of toilet paper.
Yeah.
If
you're lucky.
I don't understand how that was.
And you say it was found attached to his top bunk?
He tied it at the top of his bunk, apparently.
Most people are taller than the average bunk bed.
Well, you don't necessarily.
Okay. Oh no. Yeah, no. I can.
Yeah,
no, I can
you
see.
can-
Yeah. No, I can visualize it.
Look up Chris Cornell, R.I.P.
And not all of us are as tall, Ryan.
Yeah.
Sorry, Amber. I
Jeffrey
didn't
Epstein
mean to.
was tall.
I didn't mean to shoot shots or anything, but
For
I
argument's
didn't mean to
sake,
shoot
Justin.
shots. We'll get into this. the Jeffrey Epstein's height. The removal of his body from his cell went against protocol, as the Bureau of Prisons mandates that a suicide scene be treated the same as a death scene of any other manner. Prison personnel also failed to photograph Epstein's body as it was found.
What?
So,
I'm
getting a lot of Kurt Cobain PTSD here.
Just about to say, this is so reminiscent of Kurt Cobain. It's so sloppy, so blasé. It's almost as if to say, yeah, we know what this is. It's cut and dry.
But I want you to think about the difference between the Kurt Cobain and Jeffrey Epstein right now, though. Like, with Jeffrey, one, it's 2019. Two, like, with his history, you would kind of want to maybe make sure that you got all of your pieces and ducks in a row, but maybe not.
You would think.
Unless you were... Never mind, go ahead. I'm gonna shut up.
A former inmate. Oh, here we go. I forgot about these. I'll give you guys a heads up. I took these notes 2 or 3 months ago. So I'm learning as you guys are learning, because I forgot about some of this stuff. A former inmate stated that the prison's sheets were paper thin, as I just said a moment ago.
Yeah.
Oopsie.
That's not going to hold a full-grown man.
And nowhere near strong enough to support Epstein committing suicide.
No.
But just on that side, if you get a piece of paper and double it up and keep doubling it up, it does get a lot stronger.
True.
Same with the sheet. If you bunch it up...
But think about how big your sheet is going to be in jail, in a bunk bed that I imagine is probably twin size.
Yes,
you're not going to have a whole
lot
to work with.
So, Epstein was almost 6 feet tall, and he weighed 185 pounds. It was also questioned why he would use a sheet when there were other stronger, sturdier devices available, such as he had a sleep apnea machine in his cell, and there were wires and all kinds of wires and tubing from that machine. So that's also something that people are like, why would he use a sheet if this is...
He's got those, yeah.
Much more reasonable. Like, this is much more of a sure thing here. August 11th, the day after he is found, an autopsy was conducted on his body, obviously. I don't know why I worded that like that. What else would they do an autopsy on? I don't... Other sources noted that the broken bones in his neck were more common in victims of homicidal strangulation.
Oh.
August 16th, less than a week after his death. His death was officially ruled a suicide with no foul play apparent. Now we are going to get in... we're going to get into a little bit about the damage, or the injuries, I guess. I'm getting a little drunk here. October 30th of 2019. Oh, that was a year ago today. Okay. October 30th, forensic pathologist Michael Baden, hired by Epstein's attorneys, issued a report stating that Epstein's neck injuries were more consistent with homicidal strangulation. According to a quote from Baden, Epstein had 2 fractures on the left and right sides of his larynx, specifically the thyroid cartilage or Adam's apple, as well as 1 fracture on the left hyoid bone above the Adam's apple. He also claimed that he also claimed that Epstein's hyoid bone, why is that word so hard to say, was broken in a way that would suggest homicidal strangulation from behind. If I remember correctly, I think the hyoid bone is like this U-shaped in your neck. I'm touching it right now on camera. You guys probably don't, I read that it was a U-shaped bone. I'm assuming that it's like...
Is it the bit where your collarbones almost go to meet up and you got dipped into your ribcage?
They said it's a U shape, so I would assume it's maybe this dip right here.
Yeah, that's the only U-shaped sort of bone you
Yeah,
have really in
yeah.
your body.
I could
But I
be
mean,
totally
is your-
wrong here,
Pardon.
but you know that's just my assumption.
That was,
Go, Dougie.
that was-
Unapologetic as I love it.
Anyway,
Just my bad, baby. Go ahead.
other doctors have supported the coroner's determination, stating that the fractures and broken bones can occur in a suicidal hanging. Baden states that he examined thousands of prison suicides spanning several decades, and not one had 3 fractures present.
Wow.
which
I mean,
Epstein
you're going to
did.
have force to give you some fractures
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to justify in my head a bed sheet, him being the size that he was, probably the piss poor quality of the sheet that of itself. I don't see it lining, especially that U-shaped bone that you were just talking about.
Yeah.
I don't see it.
It's,
I don't
it's
see it lining
actually
up.
Up here.
Is
Oh,
it?
oh, it-
I didn't know I had
it's-
another one up here.
Oh,
Yeah.
For those
Yeah, it's not-
who
It's,
are listening on
it's above,
Spotify, we were
above the
actually-
larynx.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's above your larynx. So the diagram I just saw showed it as being... My beard's still in the way.
I just love how
Yeah.
Dougie is moving his entire beard, just like there.
Oh yeah, pull the curtain back. So
Let me
according
just draw
to
the
Baden,
blinds.
shut up.
Sorry.
The neck wound was in the center of Epstein's neck, not under his mandibles like in a typical hanging. This is more common when a victim is strangled by wire or cord. Baden stated the wound itself was much thinner in size than the strip of bed sheet supposedly used. There was blood on Epstein's neck, but none on the bed sheet ligature.
how? Okay.
Mm.
According to the autopsy, Epstein also had contusions on both of his wrists, an abrasion on his left forearm, and deep muscle hemorrhaging of his left shoulder. Mark Epstein, his brother, suggested that he was handcuffed and struggled. Epstein also had hemorrhaging in his eyes, which is more common with strangulations than hangings. According to Baden, Epstein's legs also lacked lividity, which would indicate that he did not die in an upright position.
Yeah, this just goes to show more towards
It not being a
force and
suicide.
force and trauma or some sort of foul
I mean,
play
he has-
involved than anything else.
I'm not a doctor. I don't know about, strangulations or suicide by hanging or anything like that. I would not think that someone who kills themselves by hanging would sustain as many injuries
No,
in so
that's-
many different places.
I mean, you said what there was bruising or contortions on the wrist and his forearm and
yeah.
I'm sorry, but no, you're right. You can't. I was just going to repeat what you said. You can't suffer those from hanging.
Now, are you saying that
And
those
where's the
on his
blood-
wrists are
where's
those
the blood coming
contusions?
from?
Yeah.
And are the marks on his wrist, were those like actual contusions, or like were they like actual like? Because I would believe if someone attempted to, I hate to be so graphic, but if someone attempted to cut their wrists and maybe that wasn't so successful, then try to hang themselves. I mean, if they were in that state of like, I'm going to do this, but
Yeah.
mm,
But even
if it's just
All I know
bruising, like what the fuck is that about?
The wrist situation, all it said was contusions. I would assume it is not any type of severing of, like slicing into
Yeah.
the wrist. 'Cause whatever I noted, they would have indicated that it was more of a cut. Because, I mean,
Yeah.
that would have been more...
more compelling evidence.
Well, yeah, because I mean,
with
a
the-
laceration and a contusion's two totally different things. So
Yeah, and
I am assuming that by contusions they mean some sort of injury, maybe bruising,
Right.
or something around the wrist. Not, I feel like if it was like a cutting situation, it would have made the suicide thing more plausible, because it's like, oh, well, he cut his wrists were cut.
Yeah.
Obviously, he, you know.
Yeah,
he
and
was
see,
gonna do
that's what I would
something.
think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I kind of I don't know if the pictures are available or not. I would not mind looking at the autopsy photos if they're online. That sounds morbid and macabre. Whatever. I will go away from that right now. So, whew. Oh, I'm bouncing around here. Back on September 5th of 2019, Epstein's body was claimed by an unknown associate, later revealed to be his brother. Whoopee, big surprise.
Okay.
He was buried in an unmarked tomb next to his parents in Palm Beach. His parents' names have since been removed from the tomb to prevent vandalism. That is kind of sad.
That is
Not for
sad.
him.
But for the parents.
Yeah.
What? Oh. Sorry, I was reading Amber's message. I didn't know. Okay. Yeah, for the parents. That's
yeah,
very sad.
that
I mean,
is
God.
having to do that to prevent vandalism, because of pricks out there again. Like, yeah, let's go fuck his. Yeah, that's.
I mean, I guess the people who need to know where you are already know, but
yeah,
God,
but even so, that's not the
depressing.
point.
Following Epstein's death, Donald Trump retweeted a conspiracy theory linking Bill and Hillary Clinton to his death. So, essentially, Trump kind of started the Clinton kill list, or whatever it was that was trending when Epstein died.
There he goes again.
What is the saying that I'm searching for so deeply?
There's probably so many going around.
It's very reminiscent of whoever smelt it dealt it. So it to me it could almost like be argued that if Trump's making those accusations, it's because he personally knows something that maybe.
Probably.
Yeah. Okay.
Just going back
Allegedly, this is my personal theory.
Yeah.
Right.
I looked up the autopsy photos.
Are they
They're there.
available?
Oh, did you?
And the neck wound, there's no way a sheep
Yeah.
did that.
That's what the notes said, because they said that the wound was too thin
Alright, fine.
for it to. It didn't
Yeah.
like the size
Yeah.
didn't match.
I'm looking at
There's also a conspiracy that
dailymail.co.uk. But, yeah.
that was not him that died. There's this whole conspiracy that it was a faked thing and that he's
good.
still alive. I'm not going to do that, but you know, that's a thing.
The ear thing. I know what you're
Yeah.
talking about.
The
Yeah.
ear thing. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the bone that broke, that U-shaped one is, yeah, it's up here. So, but yeah, no, you don't see any other photos of like any other body parts apart from this part, but
Apart from
it's
his neck.
straight across here, and that's not sheep. Sorry, that's.
Oh,
Yeah,
no way in hell. That.
no.
Oh no, that is not it.
And you look at the sheet that did it, and like
Yeah.
it has been rolled up and everything like that, but
I
even
mean,
still, there's
yeah,
no way that left a
but
little
it-
mark like that.
I wouldn't do that.
That.
Especially, to me, that wound is, yeah, someone behind him with a wire rope pulling
And
tight.
pulling, yeah.
Yeah, pulling.
Because it even kind of, which, I mean, I guess you would get that in a hanging anyway, but, I mean, you can even see, like,
But
in his skin,
What-
that upward,
if it was more of hanging, it's going to be up higher because it's going
Yeah.
to pull up
Yeah.
onto the bottom of the jaw.
oh,
So if anything, it's going to be
yeah.
up. The marks would be up here, more than anything.
You've
I'm assuming.
you've
You
But,
right.
yeah.
you've also got severe bruising right on his
Just below the jaw.
yeah,
Yeah.
which to me indicates more force than what would be applied from.
Even on his shoulder, his left shoulder looks bruised.
Yeah, it does. And also on his right side of the neck, you've got the two angles of markings.
Yeah.
That, whether that's smudge or what, that indicates to me. But it's that bruising at the front there. That would be applied with more force than what a limp corpse would apply to a sheet.
Yeah. The dual marks just looks like it's because of the struggle. So it started in one spot and struggling.
And moved it up to the... Yeah.
He just looks like he got...
The thing about Jeffrey Epstein is that he was such a prominent figure, just globally. I mean, you know, I've seen him referred to as a billionaire. He clearly was not a billionaire when he died. He, 500 million. He's halfway there, but not a billionaire.
Yeah.
You know, millionaire, philanthropist, just skeezy bag of human flesh, honestly.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I just don't buy it. I feel like he felt or thought way too highly of himself to do anything like that.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, wouldn't you think so highly of yourself if you basically gotten away with doing however long, and then when you do get caught, it's not like you really get caught? I'm sure in some way that he thought that he was truly invincible, and it may have been because of who all he knew and what all he knew.
Yeah.
The dirt he had on, so many people.
If he felt like he was...
He believed he was untouchable.
Well,
yeah. And if he thought...
Absolutely.
If he thought he believed that he was so good he needed a new girl every time and whatever, he needed a fresh... If he thought he was truly that good and that up himself, no way somebody that smug about themselves would take their own life. He's not going to feel guilty about anything.
No. And the thing about it is, at the time of his death, there was no reason for him to commit suicide. He hadn't been sentenced. He didn't have like a lifetime imprisonment. He was not going to get a lifetime imprisonment at all. He had another bail hearing coming up, which could have freed him, at least until his trial. I mean, let's be real. After dodging the system for so many years, after so many women or so many parents calling in to report what's happening and it just getting swept under the rug, I mean, why wouldn't he get away with it again? Why was this the last time, or the time that was gonna kind of I don't know, I don't buy it. I don't.
No, I don't.
I'm also choosing not to buy it.
Yeah.
So I've got probably less than a page of notes left. So November 19th of last year, 2019, the prison guards, Michael Thomas and Tova Noel, were indicted on charges of creating false records and conspiracy. These charges stemmed from footage obtained by prosecutors showing that Epstein was not observed by them for 8 hours on the night. 8 hours, God! I'm telling you, I'm relearning this stuff with you guys. I forgot this stuff.
I'm not going to get that much sleep tonight.
8 hours on the night of his death, he was unsupervised. Instead, it showed the two guards sleeping and making personal searches on their work computers. During that time, they repeatedly signed records stating that they had conducted the required checks.
Wow.
In December of last year, prosecutors revealed that the footage from Epstein's first suicide attempt had disappeared. Nicholas Tartaglione's lawyers requested the footage to prove his claim that he had saved Epstein on the day of the supposed assault. 2 days after the incident, Tartaglione's lawyers requested that the footage be retained. The judge requested that the government locate the footage. Several days later, prosecutors stated that they had found the footage. But a month later, in January, they admitted that the footage had been deleted due to a clerical error.
Again, so convenient.
Sure.
Damn clerical errors.
Yes. Just a few little factoids here. Epstein did have his own private jet, of course, and he had his own private island called what's it called? Amber? Little St. James Island, something like that.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, so he had his own little private jet where it was nicknamed the Lolita Express by Little St. James locals who frequently saw underage girls arrive off of the flights.
Oh my God.
I hate this. I hate Jeffrey Epstein. So, Cindy McCain, the wife of deceased John McCain,
Correct.
who was, I believe, a veteran. He ran for president here at one time. She was, there's a video of her on YouTube being interviewed. She says, quote, Epstein was hiding in plain sight. We all knew about him. We all knew what he was doing, but we had no one who would go after him. They were afraid of him for whatever reason. They were afraid of him. End quote. So that's fun. So everyone, she says everyone. I would assume everyone in his little upper crust, circle of friends, they knew what was going on. And the people I listed earlier, we're talking about powerful people.
Right.
Wealthy people, political figures, like Hollywood. Everyone knew this guy.
Yeah.
So, it's like, who of these people know what was going on? Anyway. So, there's that again. July 2nd of 2020, this year, just a couple months ago, Gillen was arrested in Bradford, New Hampshire, and charged with enticement and conspiracy to entice minors to travel to engage in illegal sex acts. That's a lengthy one. Transportation and conspiracy to transport minors with intent to engage in criminal sexual activity, and 2 counts of perjury.
Wow.
Additional safety precautions have allegedly been taken as authorities are concerned that she too could die while in custody.
Oh, I wonder why.
Oh, so they're also now suspicious of, maybe it wasn't suicide. Maybe somebody... Yeah.
Yep, and not just them. She's in jail until her trial in July 2021, and she is reportedly afraid that she will be murdered while sitting in jail.
I'm not surprised.
Well,
No.
I'm not...
It is what it is.
Yeah, I'm not... I wouldn't be surprised if somebody known to the victims or just somebody who feels like justice needs to be done by themselves is just taking it upon themselves just to do the deed and get it.
And here's the thing. Like, was I that upset when I heard that Jeffrey Epstein died? No. Would I be upset if tomorrow I hear that Gillen or...
Absolutely.
I'm not going to be upset.
I will.
Well, here, this is where I'm going to get at. I'm not going to be upset at the fact that, yes, she's dead. I'm going to be upset at the fact that there will have been 2 people that have died with something that they knew that someone did not want to get out that was possibly worse than what her and Jeffrey Epstein had already done. And what they've done already to this point is just astronomically. If they have dirt worse than what they had for themselves on someone else, that's information that needs to be out there and that we need to know, and that definitely people don't need to be killed off before it's known. But
that's the issue, because when Epstein was alive, when he was doing his thing with these kids, basically, there were reports that he had cameras set up in his houses. And the purpose, he told one of these girls, or he was quoted at one point as saying that, he had a lot of rich and powerful friends, and if they ever betrayed him, then he had the tape of whatever they were doing to blackmail them.
That's...
Epstein, like, he kept all this evidence, all these videos, all these pictures. If he ever needed to blackmail anyone, he had it. So, while I appreciate Ryan's hope for this being vigilante justice from the victims or their families, that's not what this is.
It's not at all. It can't be.
This has to
unfortunately,
do with someone that he has some shit on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and unfortunately, from what I do know about his victims, a lot of his victims came from, like, lower end neighborhoods, very low class. Like, these are just unfortunate, you know, low income kids in high school, middle school, whatever.
So nobody would really be able to get close to him to begin with.
The people that he was
preyed on
abusing, that
these
was
girls.
his choice to prey on people that had no leverage against him.
Yeah.
He knew that these girls were more flexible if his offer of, you know, $200 seemed like a ton of money to them. So he targeted girls of lower socioeconomic status. Girls who lived in low-income neighborhoods or low-income housing. Just poor girls, pretty much. People that, you know, he knew if he offered this sum of money, they'd be like, oh, yeah.
If I'm not
ask any questions, I won't tell anyone about this. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, the one woman that you mentioned that turned, you know, him in because with her daughter or stepdaughter or something like that, I think that girl was offered like $300.
Yeah, he was going like, it was like between $300 and $500 for these
like
massages.
It's like for the amount of damage that he did, it's like, and you know, $300 to $500 didn't mean to him. He could wipe his ass with it.
Yeah.
No. But when you're a 14, 15-year-old girl and all you do
That's a
is
hell of
go
a lot
to
of
school,
money.
Yeah, that is.
It's a lot of
and
money.
you go to the mall on the weekend, you know, like you're not rich, then that's a lot of money. That is a lot of money.
Yeah.
So whatever's happening or whatever happened to him, I wish it did. But it does not. It absolutely does not have anything to do with his victims or their families. It's he has something on someone.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put it past Prince Andrew, to be completely honest. But someone higher up, someone more powerful and more wealthy, he's got something on one of them.
Yeah.
That's why I want to see Ghislaine live through to trial, because she's not talking. She still is not talking. She's still like, I don't know what you're talking about. I never participated in this.
One of these days that has to break. I'm sorry.
She's playing dumb this whole time. So I'm going to need her to live. I'm going to need whoever is doing this to not murder her, because I have got to hear what's going on here. So what else?
It needs to come out for the victims.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The way Ghislaine has been so resistant to talking about any of this. Like, she still denies it. I don't know that she will ever come forward and be like, yeah, this happened. You know, I mean, to this day, she denies any involvement. She's like, we never did anything like that. Like, I didn't help him get girls. Like, he didn't do anything illegal, neither did I. And it... Man's dead, chick. Stop sucking his d- God.
God, like, seriously.
She has motioned numerous times or appealed to try to keep court documents from her depositions and other previous lawsuits from, like, being unsealed. But actually, just recently, a couple days ago, I guess she petitioned again for the documents to remain sealed, and the judge was like, nah, get the out of here. We're unsealing these like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
You little stupid ass I you.
As far as the whole Epstein didn't kill himself meme goes, which... Still kind of surprised Ryan wasn't familiar with that Jeffrey Epstein, because that was a big meme for a while.
I remember seeing the meme. I didn't read into it.
Well, that phrase, it gained popularity after a former Navy SEAL and founder of the Warrior Dog Foundation, Mike Ritland, asked if he could give a PSA at the end of his interview with Jesse Waters on Fox News. In his interview, I remember seeing this, it was hilarious. He, the last thing he said in his interview, he said, if you see the coverage, his foundation is about combat dogs.
Now.
So if you see the coverage about combat dogs and you decide, oh, I want one of these dogs, either buy a fully trained and finished dog from a professional or just don't get one at all. That and Epstein didn't kill himself.
Oh.
He said this on live TV. So.
Wow.
I remember, I want to say that I was
I'll
watching...
just throw that out there.
Yeah.
And I mean, and people do it. I remember watching C-SPAN one time, and a caller had called in, and they were giving commentary about, it was about Brett Kavanaugh. They were giving commentary on the Brett Kavanaugh hearings, and then someone at the end of their comments was like, oh, and by the way, Epstein didn't kill himself. I mean, if you have a moment, I guess if you have a moment on TV, on live TV, to make a statement, try to get people thinking.
Yeah.
It's like that right in the pussy dude. I hope he's doing okay now.
I do too.
Okay. Let's see, Arizona Congressman Paul Gosar, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right or not. He shared a series of 23 tweets where the first letter of each tweet spelled out the phrase.
That's clever.
Australian rapper Matthew Lambert of Hilltop Hoods included the phrase in his acceptance speech when he won the 2019 ARIA Music Award for Best Australian Live Act. The phrase was hacked into a traffic sign in Modesto, California.
Wow.
Word.
Wow.
The phrase was uttered by a University of Alabama student during a live report on MSNBC before a football game.
Word.
In his opening monologue at the 77th Golden Globes, Ricky Gervais joked that the suicidal character of his show Afterlife would come back for a second season. He then added, quote, so in the end, he obviously didn't kill himself, just like Jeffrey Epstein.
I remember seeing that. That was brilliant.
Shock, discomfort, disbelief just rattled the audience. So that was, in my opinion, whenever they showed the different views of each celebrity, like they were just... They were like, what did he just say?
Honestly, that was...
If I remember
that was someone else.
It was like an awkward silence, and then he was like, what? Y'all hung out with him, not me. And I was like,
well, he said, it was an awkward silence. He said, I know he's your friend, but I don't care.
Yeah, I know he's your friend, but I don't care. Oh, man.
Podcast host Joe Rogan, he's used Instagram to spread the meme. Holiday-themed merchandise, such as Christmas sweaters, or as you guys call them, jumpas.
Yes, Christmas jumpers.
They prominently feature the phrase. They also became available for purchase through several online retailers. According to Variety, the Christmas-themed paraphernalia was reportedly outselling Game of Thrones merchandise at one point. The phrase has been connected to several incidents of vandalism, including numerous instances of being spray painted on road signs and overpasses across America. The phrase was also painted on a 7-foot-tall boulder and was visible to travelers on Washington State Route 9.
Wow.
Dope.
Obviously, let's see, what else is there? Epstein's brother, he thinks he was murdered too. I don't really know or care what this guy has to say, honestly. I mean, that's his brother, so...
Yeah.
Unless they were at odds, but doubtful, because his brother was the one who went to claim his body, so if my sister, was a sex trafficker or a pedophile, I don't think I'd be the one to go claim her body. So... They must have been on good terms.
Really?
Right.
So yeah, miss me with that.
That's
So that's that.
Yeah.
So since Ryan is not familiar with Jeffrey Epstein, I would recommend watching Filthy Rich on Netflix.
I think I'm gonna have to now.
Because
It's good.
excellent series, nauseating, but
Yeah, very.
it's good.
Yeah, very, very infuriating, but good.
Yeah.
This dude got away with so much for so long. If he did commit suicide, I really think that he's like, I've finally been caught. They're not going to sweep this under the
I
rug
think that
this
would be the
time.
only way in his situation. From what I've just heard there, I think that would be the only way he would commit suicide, knowing he had no other way to turn. But
I mean, this guy was so despicable. and
yeah,
just
that's a very
so
good word to
full
use
of
for it.
himself, and
Yeah.
he was so confident in his deviance, and it's just like,
That's
I
what makes
just
it
don't
hard to
buy
think
it.
that he did kill himself because he knew he had so much dirt on so many different
Yeah.
people. It's like,
Yeah.
I'm the most powerful person there is.
Yeah,
I can get away with
Yeah.
everything.
yeah.
So,
and this whole thing with him, it's just, you can really, my
Yeah,
camera,
I was just about to say, Jess, your camera.
you can really just your way to the top.
Yeah.
Like, really, like,
yeah, well,
How
he
come I
really
haven't
did.
got there
I mean,
yet?
this dude, he became a
oh,
this dude
I'll
became
never
a
will.
half billionaire from lying. He didn't finish college. He lied on his resume, and like suddenly he's hanging out with Donald Trump and the Clintons and the Rothschilds, and like, what the
Yeah.
what am I doing wrong? Do I have to learn how to lie better or something? I mean, God, I don't. Crazy.
Yeah, very.
Crazy.
I'm stumped. Well, I'm not stumped, I'm gobsmacked.
Geelan, girl, you better stay alive till your trial, because I'm trying to hear it all, girlfriend.
For real.
Yep.
Yeah, we want to know more. Oh, God.
So that is going to lead us into mine and Amber's episode next week.
Season
And
finale.
I mentioned a couple of names we're going to be talking
Yes, she
about
did.
next week.
Yes, she did.
Let's hope I was paying attention.
It won't matter.
No, it'll come back around again. My God, next week's the season finale.
God, that's
Yeah.
depressing.
What do we do after that? What do we...
I'm trying to figure. I was thinking about it on the way home tonight. I'm like, how do I close out next week? Do I say, oh, have a good holiday, or do I say, oh, we'll see you guys next year? I mean, like, how long are we planning to stay hiatus for?
No.
It's generally like 2 months, so
Something
I would
like that.
say next year. But
We'll see. Time will tell. But damn, that was in depth. That was deep. That was messed up.
That's crazy.
that didn't even get into his little freaky freak with those little girls.
Yeah,
I'm glad you-
That was
Yeah,
that,
I
I just
I don't think
scratched
we need
the
to go into
surface.
that.
No, I'm glad you skipped
Yeah.
that. Enough said about that, really.
All you need to know, literally all you need to know, is dude liked his massages. He liked with little girls watching, and then giving him $200. That's Jeffrey
Good
Epstein
job.
in a nutshell.
Good job, Jess.
Yeah. Very good work on that one.
Oh my God, it's 10 o'clock. I haven't eaten dinner yet.
Shut up, it's 2 a.m. Shut up.
Why'd you bring me a new cup? Thank you.
Evening, Charles.
I've got my own bartender on call. It's fine.
Yeah, you do.
Okay, I will say I have my own bartender, and I don't know if anyone caught when I was
Yes.
taking a sip out of my little Rick and Morty glass.
I
Would
did.
you like to know what's in here?
Go on then.
It's eggnog, like the alcoholic eggnog. And I'm like, why did you bring me such a big glass?
So you're drinking eggnog, which, correct me if I'm wrong, it is a Christmas drink? For Halloween.
I have. As soon as they start selling eggnog, I'm all over this shit.
Fair enough.
I take the regular eggnog and the alcoholic eggnog. I like eggnog. I don't understand why people don't like it.
I've never tried.
Never tried
It's
it.
delicious.
I'm sure it is. I'm sticking with the Disaronno tonight.
You go for that, baby.
If things are going well and I can get there next year, I'll try it.
Yes.
We'll all have some.
I'm the only person I know that likes it besides like my mom and my dad, and that's it.
Eggnog sucks.
See what I mean?
That's one way of putting it.
I think it's the tits.
Eggnog is like out of an egg.
No, no.
It's like snot.
Not at all like snot. She's
Look at
being
Ryan's
dramatic.
face.
It's like out of an
He's
egg.
trying to picture how do you get out of an egg.
Yeah, I'm also thinking for. I'm also thinking for those who listen to the YouTube censored version, they're not gonna have any content. It's just gonna be like beep out of an egg, and they were like, "What was that?" Like, what out of an egg?
You'll never know.
Head to Spotify, you'll find out. Oh my days.
So if you like our podcast, you can follow us on social media. Our Instagram is at jar.podcast. Our Twitter is at jarredofficial. Look who came in to join us. She
Once
said it's
again.
time to go.
Yeah, she said it's
time's
time.
up. Time's up.
Is it time to go? Yeah.
That's a big yawn.
That was a big yawn.
I'm sitting here like, did she just... Because I have my headphones and I can't hear. Did she, like, yawn loud?
I didn't hear anything.
I didn't
Oh,
hear
right.
her,
Didn't
but I
hear it.
just seen
You
her
just saw
face.
it,
She's
okay.
just...
Yeah.
You look extremely confused.
Oh, the boys are crying. That's why I'm like, what is that sound? Yeah, I gotta wrap this up. Let the boys out.
There's Charles in the
Jarred is sponsored by 5 the Gamer. So for all of your headset needs, head on over to 5thegamer.com and enter special discount code JARD20 for 10% off your next order. We're also
Woo-hoo.
partnered with xtiffy.com, so for all of your GTA outfit component needs, go to xtiffy.com and she'll hook you up. We're going, okay? We're going. You don't have to kick me. What else,
Yep.
guys?
You can find us on Apple Music, Google Podcasts. What were the rest? Oh my god, this is why I don't do it. Don't pull
Spotify,
that
Apple
face at me.
Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Anchor, Podbean, Podchaser. Most podcast hosting websites, honestly.
And of course, if you
Don't
need a censored
ever.
version.
Don't ever do that again.
Well, why did you say? What else, guys? What else, guys? Don't ask me if you don't want my help.
Did I address you? Ryan is wearing
For a more
makeup, you
censored
guys.
version of the podcast, find us on YouTube.
Ryan does look kind of hot.
What was that, Jess? I missed that.
I said you do look kind of hot. I don't understand.
I don't know what to do with that information. Thank
I
you.
don't either. We're all going to horny jail. Everyone put on your horny handcuffs.
Alright, I'll be right back.
Yes!
Sorry, I don't have any.
Oh, Dougie.
You don't have one pair of handcuffs in that house.
We're getting X-rated again, guys.
Well,
Shame.
that's the
We gotta
so that's
go.
a problem. I live here alone. If I did that, I'm.
Hey, you're on the phone. Help! I'm
It's
stuck.
called autoerotic asphyxiation?
No.
Don't worry, I'm not into that sort of.
Don't worry, now I am worried. Dougie, I thought you were a freak like us.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
We have got to go. We have got to go to a private video chat and get off of this podcast.
We've got to finish this now.
Yes, yeah.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye all.
Thank you all.
Goodbye.
See you next
Happy
week.
Halloween.
Have a
Bye.
good one.
Happy
See ya.
Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Bye.